All right, well, hi everybody. Let's get the webinar started. So, again, today's webinar is on how to get all your deals funded, whether it's residential deals or apartment deals or commercial deals. Private money, having access to all the funds that you need for your money, and more specifically, we're going to be talking about private money on this call. And so why don't we start with this, Jim? If you can share with everybody what is private money and how is that different from hard money and conventional loan money?
Sure. First of all, let me welcome everybody. I'm happy to have, we are thrilled that you all are with us tonight, and we're confident you're going to learn a lot based on the information we have to share with you this evening. To answer Tim's question as to what private money is and how it differs from hard money and conventional money, first of all, there's no hard and fast rules or definition, if you will, about private money. But here's the way I think of it. I think of private money. Actually, it'd be easier if I told you how I think of conventional money, then how I think of hard money, and then how I think of private money as differentiated between the three. First of all, conventional funding is pretty much the kind of funding that everybody is familiar with. In other words, you go to a bank or a mortgage company to fund your real estate transactions. And that's a very viable source of funding. In fact, lots of real estate transactions are funded with conventional funding. In fact, most real estate transactions are funded with conventional funding. Now, unfortunately, there are some kinds of properties that conventional funding won't work for. I do a fair amount of rehabbing. I do anywhere from 30 to 35 deals a year, and the majority of those transactions are done with properties that wouldn't qualify for traditional funding from a bank or a mortgage company. So I'm kind of relegated to either hard money or private money. Now, hard money is a very viable source of funding, particularly for rehab-type deals, junker deals that don't qualify for conventional funding. And hard money is, it has some distinct advantages, but it also has some drawbacks. One of the advantages of hard money is that hard money lenders will routinely fund junker deals or houses that need a fair amount of rehab. They'll also fund apartment complexes that need a lot of rehab. So any kind of a deal that that needs a lot of rehab, hard money works very nicely for it. Hard money has some drawbacks, though. Some of the drawbacks of hard money, number one, is the interest rates tend to be pretty high in comparison to, certainly in comparison to traditional funding, and generally in comparison to private money. Also, there's loan origination points that hard money lenders will charge. And hard money lenders used to be called asset-based lending. In other words, they didn't really much care about the qualifications of the buyer because they were looking to the asset to pay back the loan more than anything else. That being said, they looked for a fairly low loan-to-value ratio, somewhere in the neighborhood of 60, 65, or 70% of the after-repaired value is all that hard money lenders will fund. On the other hand, private money, the advantage of private money is that private money is almost exclusively based on the relationship between the lender and the borrower. And everything is negotiable between a hard money lender, a private money lender and a private money borrower. With hard money, the rates are generally fixed. The points are generally set. The hard money lender basically controls the terms and conditions of the loan. Whereas with private money, it's always a negotiation between the private money lender and the private money borrower. So that being said, you can sometimes structure a private money loan with a lot more flexibility for you, the borrower, than you could with a hard money. Tim, does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. It actually answers it really well.
Tim, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello,
Yep.
hello. Can you guys hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, awesome.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah, so yes, it definitely answered my question, and I want to expand on that a little bit because, and this is not always necessarily true, but I've seen it to be true in a lot of cases, is that hard money lenders, they don't actually lend their own money. And hard money lenders is like a broker between a private lender and you. So for example, you as the investor, since if you don't have your own private lenders, don't have your own private lenders yet, and the way that you get your deal funded is you go through a hard money lender, and a hard money lender, what they have become specialized in is having a bunch of private lenders, a whole network of private lenders behind them. And so when you go to a hard money lender and said, hey, I want you to loan on this property for me, it's worth $100,000 and I want $50,000 for it, the hard money lender will tell you, okay, yes, I'll charge you 5 points up front, and I'll charge you 15% interest rate. I'm just using that as an example. And they charge you, they typically charge you 15 to 18% interest rate. So then, and then they take your loan to, let's say, I'll just use Jim as an example of a private lender. So the hard money lender goes to Jim and said, hey Jim, I have this deal right now, and that that I will give you 10% interest for you to loan on this deal. Okay, I'm just simplifying this here. So basically, and they don't pay Jim anything up front. So Jim just gets 10% annualized return, and that's it. And so a hard money lender is like a broker in the middle, the middleman, that the way they make their money is from the upfront payment that you pay, the points that they charge you, and the spread between that 10% interest and that 15% interest. Okay, and so they do that, and they're able to get away with that is because they are actively in the business of lending money. So they advertise themselves. They have, they have advertising money that they spend. So you only know about them through their advertising, and so you come to them, and you really don't have another choice. Like, you don't know any other private lenders to lend money to you to close on your deal. And so you would go through a hard money lender. And and so what we're trying to teach you on this call here, as well as at the Private Money Made Easy seminar that we're doing coming up this weekend on August 24th, 25th, and 26th, that's happening here in Houston, is that we're teaching you how to bypass the middleman, bypass the hard money lenders, and go directly to the private lenders, so that way you can get the get your loan at 10% without paying any points up front. And some of these goes as little as 6%, with no points. And I have never personally ever paid any kind of upfront points for any of the deals that I've done through a private lender before. What about you, Jim? Have you had to do that?
Yes, I have, but generally it's rare. I've done 425 real estate transactions. I do between 30 and 35 deals a year, and if I have 2 deals in a year that I pay points on, that that's about it. Most of my private money lenders don't require points, and if they do, it's generally 1 or 2 points maximum. Hard money lenders, as you mentioned, can charge up to 5 or 6 points. It's not uncommon for a hard money lender to ask for 3, 4, 5, 6 points up front, and I have never paid more than 1 point. I'm trying to think if I've ever paid 2 points on a private money loan, and I don't think I have ever paid 2 points on a private money loan. I've paid 1 point on private money loans, but never, I can't think of ever having paid 2.
Right. Yeah, and just so you know, you guys know, if you don't know who Jim Kennedy is, and I brought up the website, you guys. So Jim has raised over $7 million in the last 2 years, the last 24 months in private money to fund all of his rehab deals. And Jim has a really amazing business model and a business system that yeah, I mean, like I literally envy Jim's business model, his real estate business model, and and I always talk about his business model. It's really amazing. It's the most, it's the most outsourced business model for rehabbing business I've ever seen. And and so that's who's talking on the line, and that's who's gonna be. And Jim, Jim does, like I said, 30 to 35 rehab deals a year. So it's like constantly doing deals, lots of these rehab deals, especially in today's market. Which brings me to the next point, Jim, is that what's going on in today's market, and why is private money so important right now?
Well, the market, we are in a fairly strong buyer's market, which means that there's more sellers than there are buyers. And because of that, buyers can be pretty picky. So I'm a rehabber. I do 3 things in the real estate game, if you will. Now, over the course of a 37-year career, I bought my first piece of investment property in 1974. So I've been at this game for 37 years. And during that 37-year career, I have done lots of different kinds of deals, including office building, construction, land development, land speculation, spec building, rehabbing. I made my living trading paper for a couple of years, just buying and selling discounted notes. And now I am focused very, very heavily on single-family homes, rehabbing, and selling, flipping those rehabs, or holding them for long-term rentals. I also invest in multifamily communities, apartment complexes. So what's happening with the market, we are in a strong buyer's market. Now, we're lucky being in Houston. For those of you that are outside the Houston area, your market's going to be a little bit different than ours, but here in Houston, where all of my deals happen, we have a relatively stable real estate market. There's not a lot of wide fluctuation, but because of the market and the overall economy that we're in, it's a little tougher to sell houses today than it was 5 or 10 years ago. 5 or 10 years ago, we were in a seller's market, and now we're in a buyer's market. So what we experience now is it's very easy to find the deals to rehab, but getting them sold takes a little bit more of a challenge. Therefore, you've got to get in light. You've got to get in to these deals with at a price that makes sense. You've got to get them rehabbed and be able to sell them at a price that makes sense. Or you've got to be prepared to carry the note, float the note. selling with owner financing definitely enhances the ability to get the property sold in a timely manner.
Right. Got it. Yeah, and I was talking to.
Let me say one more thing, if I may, Tim. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
But in addition to that, we also have a very unique mortgage market. Right now, mortgage rates are at an all-time low. So if you can get a mortgage, you get a great one because the interest rates are so low. However, money is extremely tight. So a lot of the people that want to buy properties are finding it difficult to do so because money is so tight.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And just so you know, too, is I was talking to a friend of mine who is a general contractor, and he's also an investor, and he does a lot of deals. And well, actually, some of you might know him, Brent Phillips. And Brent tells me how he's starting to see now that the builders, the home builders, are starting to file their permits now. And typically, when they file their permits, it takes about another 2 years before they able to start building out their houses. And so he sees this whole trend of where it's moving, where now builders are start building again, right? Because buyers are starting to able to buy again because they haven't been buying for the last few years, and now they save up enough money and they start to buy again. And there's this small window of opportunity where you have buyers that want to buy, but the builders can't, don't have houses yet because they're just now filing the permits. And so the space from now until the builders start building there's a lot of room for rehabbers to come in and make a killing in today's market. And as a rehabber, money is just like the absolute most important thing in your business. And having access to this private money, having access to funds to fund you, to money to fund your deals, is extremely important for you in your business, and this is how you take your business to the next level. And so in today's market, in today's real estate market, if you want to be really successful in this, like, you have no other choice but to get really good with finding as much private money as you can. Wouldn't you agree with that, Jim?
Absolutely. In fact, private money has definitely had an impact on my business. Once I learned how to go out there and raise it, we're going to teach you tonight. We're actually going to teach you one of the 5 ways I know how to raise private money, and literally anybody can do this. Once you learn how to do this, once you learn how to get this private money, it will have such an impact on your business you won't believe it. Having access to virtually all the money you need is a wonderful, wonderful tool.
Right. Awesome. So you kind of lead us on to that. So that's perfect. So five different ways that you can find private money. And I want to ask you this, like, which one of those 5 ways has been the one that got you the most money?
Well, the most of the $7.2 million, I would venture to say 6.8 of it came from networking and getting out and getting my name out to private money lenders and building relationships with people who have money. Now, let me tell you, some of these private money lenders, they don't even know they're private money lenders. Private money lenders frequently are just private individuals, somebody who has, maybe they have an IRA account, or maybe they've got some money in a CD or a money market account. And right now, people are scared to death of the stock market, rightfully so. I'm not a stock market guy. I've never been a stock market guy. I do real estate. That's what I know. That's what I stick with. but I have to pay enough attention to the stock market to kind of know what's going on in the stock market. And the volatility of the stock market lately has got a lot of people scared. I know people that lost literally half their retirement income with the crash of 2008, and they're trying desperately to recover from that. So private money lenders might not even know that they are a private money lender yet. We're going to teach you one method tonight where they already know they're private money lenders. In fact, we're going to teach you how to find them very, very simply and easily with a few keystrokes of your mouse. A lot of times, private money lenders they're just ordinary individuals, people just like you and me who have some money set aside. Maybe it's in a retirement account, maybe it's just in a cash account somewhere, but they're sitting on the sidelines waiting and wondering what's going to happen with the stock market, and they've got a significant amount of money that they desperately need to put it to work. And I can show people how to earn above average returns safely and securely with none of the headaches of direct property ownership, and yet take advantage of of what's happening in the real estate market.
Right, exactly. And so, like, on, you know, with the networking, I know, and I just want to touch on that a little bit, because I mean that, you know, because that's a really like a big part of what you do, and it's also a very big part of the seminar that we have going on this weekend. So let's give them some tips on you know, on where they should go, where they can go to start to network, to find private lenders. And you know, and what I like a lot is how, you know, how well you have your presentation together for the private lender. And you know, and at the last seminar, you sort of give us a demo of that, of a role play that you did with a private lender, and what you would say to them, how you would respond to overcome all of their objections. And so I'd like you to touch on two things. Number one is, where can people go, like the people on this call right now, because I want them to walk away from this webinar with actionable things that they can actually go and implement in their business right now without even attending the seminar. And of course, I want them to attend the seminars. All of you, like, I want you to attend the seminars so you can learn a lot more. But just to give you a taste. So Jim, where are some of the places they can go to find private lenders that they can network with?
Okay, first of all, there's three types of three times that you can network and find private money. I mentioned before that private money, a lot of times a private money lender is someone who has some money sitting on the side. They may not have ever made a private money loan before in their life, or maybe they've made several and they've gotten a little bit of experience. Well, there's three main categories of people that I talk to. Number one is people I already know. Now, with people I already know, I already had a relationship with them. They already knew that I was in the real estate business. If you're out there and you're working a job, a 9-to-5 job, whatever, trying to break into the real estate game and try to establish a relationship with someone that you already know, maybe they know that you're an engineer or an accountant or work in corporate America. Well, that's how they know you. Well, you've got to segue some way, shape, or form into a conversation about how you're starting a real estate business on the side, and how profitable it can be, and how they can come along with you and profit with you. A second type of person is someone you just meet. You meet them at a cocktail party at the, at a neighbor's house. You meet them at a backyard barbecue. You meet them because their kids play soccer with your kids. People you meet at church, or people you meet at social events, or if you belong to a service organization like Rotary Club or Kiwanis or something like that. These are people that you just meet, and one of the things that always happens is when people just meet one another in our culture, it is very, very common for the topic of what do you do for a living to crop up. Now, in some cultures, that would be extremely rude to talk about what you do. But in our culture, it's routine. Somebody always asks what you do. So I teach you at the seminar this weekend. I'm going to teach you how to develop a little elevator speech that you can segue into the opportunity to talk to them about becoming a private money lender. But I think what Tim is alluding to is, where can you go to places that offer an opportunity, a venue, if you will, for you to get up in front of a group and network in a little bit more organized fashion. And there's several places that you can go to do that kind of networking. There are real estate investment clubs in virtually every major city across the country. Right here in Houston, we've got several because of the size of our city. We happen to be the fourth largest city in the country, so we've got several real estate investing clubs. We also are very fortunate to have one of the IRA custodians. A lot of people have the ability, people do have the ability to invest IRA funds in real estate. Now, some people aren't even aware of it. Right now, I jotted down some statistics that you might find interesting. There's $4.6 trillion in IRA money, $4.3 trillion in 401ks, $4.2 trillion in pensions, $2.3 trillion in defined benefit plans, and $1.6 trillion in annuities. There's $17 trillion in retirement funds. $17 trillion, that's with a T. And 97% of it does not even know that they can use those funds to self-direct and invest in real estate. They don't know that they could use those funds to become a private money lender. So we're very fortunate here in Houston. Houston is the home base of one of the largest it's what's called a third-party administrator of IRA funds, self-directed IRA funds. Now, there's companies such as Vanguard, Fidelity, all of the banks have IRA, have the ability to set up an IRA for you. Well, you can take those funds, and if you qualify, you can move those funds into what's called a self-directed IRA, and then use those funds for private money lending. So I go to the outfit here in Houston is called Quest IRA. Used to be a franchise office of Entrust, which is one of the biggest players in that field. There's other companies: Equity Trust, Security Trust, Sterling Trust, American Estate and Trust. There's a bunch of them. And this weekend, I'm going to give the attendees a list of all of the third-party administrators that I'm aware of and the custodians that do this. And then I go to events hosted by Quest IRA. In fact, tomorrow, Quest is hosting a monthly event that they have called a client mixer. Generally once a week, they hold classes. They'll hold 2 classes. Typically it's on a Tuesday. They'll hold one in the morning and one in the evening. And I'll go to these classes, I'll go to these mixers, and I'll get up and give a little, 90-second spiel, letting them know that I'm looking for private money lenders. And actually, I don't present it as though I'm looking for private money lenders. I present it as though I have an investment opportunity for people to invest their money in. And Tim, of the $7.2 million I've raised over the last 2 years, fully 6.8 of it was found by networking, and I would venture to say that probably 6 million of that 6.8 was came to me through people I met at a Quest event.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, and
Yeah.
and that's just, I mean, and that's just one IRA custodian, right? And so, so there's a lot of other IRA custodians out there, and that's like, and it's just to show you that, what is out there, like how much money is out there. And and Jim is not, I mean, Jim is not even that aggressive in finding these private lenders, or and like I said, most of it is through networking and finding these. Like if you want to raise more money, let's say instead of 7 million, let's say you want to raise like $100 million, right? Because you have some big apartment deals that you're doing or something, and you go beyond what Jim's talking about now of just networking into other things that that we're going to talk about at the seminar, to go to other IA custodians, to do things like courthouse records, to direct mail, and all of that stuff. All the 5 different ways that that Jim teaches to find private money. Like, it's totally possible for you, and like some of the numbers Jim mentioned earlier is just outrageous, like trillions of dollars in funds
Exactly.
waiting for you.
There's more money out there right now than you can shake a stick at. I have not encountered any difficulty funding any deals because of a lack of money.
Right. Yeah, and I wanted to point that out, that remember, this doesn't have to end with just you doing it for single family homes. You can use private money for anything you want. The single family houses, the apartments, the commercial, even your business. So
Exactly. In fact, all of the multifamily deals that we've got, virtually all but the last one were funded predominantly with private money. Now, the last one, we got a significant amount of the deal was funded with seller financing, but we still brought a little private money into the deal to tie up the differential between our all-in price and what the seller was willing to carry back for us. So we have never done a multifamily deal without bringing some private money to bear.
right.
And in the early stages, all of them were funded completely with private money.
Right, exactly. Awesome. So now let's talk about, actually, I know for you, Jim, it's not your biggest place to find private lenders, but for me, it's like my absolute favorite place to find private lenders. And the reason why it's my absolute favorite is because it's so easy. Like, literally, I can have my virtual assistants in the Philippines, and within a few hours, give me a list of a few hundred private lenders that are actively lending right now in my market, to for me to contact and talk to them, right? And and so and that's me too. I love technology. I love to figure out a way to use technology to make my life easier, to make my business easier. And so the next way that, and this is just the second way out of the 5 ways that that Tim teaches to find private money. So the next way that I'm gonna take a lead with this one, Jim, and
Sure.
And yeah, of course you interject wherever you feel that that would better better support the the folks on the line right now in researching for their market area. So the next way is I'm going to teach you guys how to find this from courthouse records. Okay, and courthouse record is I mean, every single home that that gets a loan or get a deed is being recorded at the courthouse, and so it's public record. Okay, and depending on your market area, your county clerk's office will have majority of them nowadays anyways, they all have websites that you can go on and you can do your research and find the court records of who lent money to who. So that way, once you know who lent money to who, now you have a database of lenders that you can go after. Okay, so the website that I'm taking you to right now is called CourtH.com. CourtH.com, and CourtH has public record for a lot of different places. They are a nationwide company. They don't have it in every single market, but they do have it in quite a few markets. And so, if you're not sure what your county clerk's website is, you can go to CourtH. And if for some reason CourtH doesn't have your county's record, another website that you can go to is called netaronline.com. Net, the letter R, online.com. And then from there you can click down to your state and down to your county to see what your county's website is. Okay, so I'm gonna just, for the sake of ease, I'm just gonna use CourtH for today. And so I'm gonna select Texas here. Okay, let me see here. I'm gonna select Texas. I'm gonna click on Go. And then I'm gonna go to Harris County. Okay. And then I'm gonna click on this grantor grantee search. Okay. So let me explain to you real quick what grantor and grantee is. Okay. In I guess court records documents, you see this a lot, like grantor and grantee. And what it means is grantor with the OR is the person that gives. Okay, grantor is the person that gives, and grantee is the person that receives. And so if I deed my house to you, that means I'm giving you the deed. So I would be the grantor and you would be the grantee. Okay, that's what happens in a deed. Now in a mortgage or in a deed of trust document, depending on what state you're in, is that when I loan money to you, you're going to give me a mortgage or a deed of trust to guarantee that you're going to pay your loan, and if you don't, then I get your house. Okay, I get the deed to your house. So in a mortgage, when you're borrowing money, what happens is that you become the grantor, the person who gives, okay, because you're giving away, this promise that you would give me your house if you don't make payments. And I'm, as your private lender or your mortgage company, is the grantee, the person that received that deed of trust or that mortgage. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we know, and Jim mentioned several different IRA custodians that are out there, from Intrust to Equity Trust to Quest IRA and a bunch more. Okay, that we're gonna give you at the seminar. And so today, just for the sake of now, I'm just going to search for Quest IIA. And the reason why I'm searching for Quest is because they're a local company here in town. And so if you know of the custodian in your area, you can search for this. Or if you don't, you can search for Entrust, which is ENTRUST, or Equity Trust, and you'll be able to find this. So I'm going to put in the grantee here, Quest IRA, and the document type that I'm looking for is anything that is a deed of trust. So D/T right here says DT equals deed of trust. Okay, so that's the kind of document I'm looking for, because I'm looking for the document that says that somebody from Quest IRA loaned money to someone else. Okay, and just for the sake of now, forget it. I'm not going to put any dates on, so it search whatever dates is available. Okay, if I want to narrow this down, like if I just want the last 6 months, for example, then I can put in what are we now? 20. I can put in the dates. So that way I have the last 6 months. Okay. So I'm going to click on search here. And what while the system is searching it, so it returns me back here 34 different records, okay, of people who have borrowed money in the last 6 months, just in the last 6 months. Through the Quest IIA custodian. Okay, so this is the grantee area. This is the grantor. Grantor is the people who are borrowing money, the investors who are borrowing money. And so in the grantee here, there's several lines that you see. Here's the IIA custodian. Here's the trustee that did the documents for that. And here's the name of the private lender in the IRA account. Okay, now each IIA custodian do this a little bit differently, but this is the general format, so that way you understand it. So here I can see that Spencer P. Nunley, okay, and a lot of times it's like last name first and then first name, but in this case, I don't know. Is Nunley a first name, Jim?
That's probably their last name.
Yeah. So
Spencer P. Nunley is probably the person's full name.
Right. So I think so too. And so here's somebody that you can contact. Okay, and at the seminar we'll teach you exactly what to say, like when you're calling them, exactly what to say, how to deal with it, so that way you don't, SEC is a really big thing in dealing with private lenders and private money, and so you got to be really careful, and you got to know the rules and guidelines around SEC to do this. Okay, and so the point here is I just want to show you how easy it is, like just from a typing in a few things in a click of a mouse, I already found 34 records of private lenders that I can go after to fund my deals. Okay.
Jim? Jim?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Go down to the fifth one on that list.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Texas Republic Investments is one of my companies.
Ah, got it. Okay.
This frequently happens when we're dealing with the Houston area.
Right.
Because I'm doing so many deals, it's not uncommon for one of my deals to come up. And Mike Laramie is the private money investor that funded that deal for us.
Got it. Yeah, and so you can see here, not only you can do this to find private lenders, but you can also do this to spy on your competitors, like on other investors in town, on who's loaning money to them as well. Okay, so you can contact those people as well. Okay, and I mean, I'm just gonna scroll down this list here, and you can see there's plenty of people. And whenever you see a name, that you see multiple times. Like if you see a private lender and you see their name, you know, like multiple places, you know that they are very active at lending money. Okay, and that they
that one where your cursor is resting right now.
Yeah, Paul and Partners.
That's a very active hard money lender. That's Alan Paul. That's one of the entities that he lends from. He's a very active private money lender here in the Houston area.
Got it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, and I see his name a lot, so I could totally, yeah, I totally see that. Okay, and so just on this record, I'm already seeing Alan Paul like several times. All right, so he'll be a really good person to go after as well. And I'm trying to see if I can find anyone else here real quick that also the name is also multiple times. Let me see here.
Well, here's an interesting one. Look at where was it?
Let's scroll up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I don't see it now. I apologize.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. James Uvanich.
Okay.
See it there?
Yeah.
Just second one from the bottom, James. It's a unique last name.
Yeah, right here. I see it.
Okay. Now scroll up a little bit and look under the grantee column.
Yeah.
And you'll see the same. There he is, as he's both the borrower on that deal where Tim's cursor is sitting. He's the borrower. On the deal down below, he's one of the lenders.
Right.
He is the lender.
Yeah.
And that happens more than you think, where somebody is a lender and a borrower.
Ah, that's a really good point. So when you pull your list like this, don't just contact these guys over here where the grantee is. Also contact these guys over here where the grantor is, and learn a little bit about them and what they do. And these are great guys for you to be friends with and network with, and take them out to lunch and what have you, to build that relationship. Okay, and figure out how you can help them with their business and how they can help you with your business as well. And like I said, this is like my absolute favorite ways to do it, because.
Well, one of the reasons this is such a good way, Tim, and I think we should point this out to the listeners tonight. One of the reasons that this is so effective is because if the people are on this list as the grantee, you know that they're already predisposed to be a private money lender because they're already doing it.
Right.
Now, it may be the first one they've ever done, or they may do it frequently, like Alan Paul and his group. They're very active private money lenders. Mike Laramie, that was his first private money loan. I think it's all, we put all the money he has available for private money lending. We put it all to work for him. So, but the advantage of contacting these folks is they're already doing it, so they're already predisposed to deal with real estate, number one, and make private money loans, number two.
Right. Awesome. So, so far we've given you like just two really powerful techniques of how you can find your private lenders. And we've only been on this webinar for like 50-something minutes, okay, about 50 minutes or so. Imagine how much more you're going to get when you're actually at the 3-day seminar. Okay, so I want to mention about the seminar real quick. So it's it's coming up here this weekend on August 24th, 25th, and 26th. I actually bring this up on August 24th, 25th, and 26th. And the website for you to go to is dodealslive.com. Dodeals, L-I-V-E. So DODEALSLIVE.com is the website that you go to. And we're structuring the seminar in a very cool and a unique way. The seminar itself is $500, and the way it works is that we are so committed to your success and you achieving your goals for your real estate business that the way we have it is that all you have to do is deposit $97 today. And so there's a balance of $400. And the cool thing is you do not have to pay the $400 until you close and profit from your first private money deal. Okay? And so that means that, let's say you're gonna, you're gonna attend the seminar this weekend, right? So you deposit $97. And let's say 30 days from now you close on your first private money deal. After you close on it, then you pay us the balance of $400. Now it is an honor policy because we believe that you are honest and that you are going to pay us when you make money, and you actually will enjoy and love to pay us when you make money. So we don't have a way to track you, so it's a complete honor policy that you would pay the balance when you do your first deal. And so to take advantage of this, go to dodealslive.com, okay, dodealslive.com, and sign up today to be a part of this. And this is one of those seminars that you just absolutely don't ever want to miss. I mean, this is the seminar that will change your life completely. And I'm not saying that lightly. I totally believe in what Jim and I and AC has to share with you when you come there, when you come this weekend. And this is AC. He's been kind of quiet on this call today, but AC is
still with us.
I'm still here.
Yeah, AC is an amazing real estate investor. He specializes in marketing. He's like one of the the marketing genius, marketing masters here in Houston. And his company, they do like 5 to 8 deals a month, and so he's really good with marketing, and he's going to be there and teach you all the marketing aspects to the business. There's 3 main things to this business. Okay, there's the money, there's the marketing, and then there's the mindset. So and those are like the 3 main I call it the 3 M's to your success. Okay, so Jim's gonna teach you everything about the money aspect of the business, how to get all of your deals funded, and AC is gonna talk about all the marketing aspects of the business, how you can get more deals or even find more private lenders through your marketing. And I'm gonna talk about mindset, how to overcome all of your fear, of your mental block, because dealing with money, there's a lot of negative mindset around money, what money is, and how to deal with private lenders. Because a lot of people, a lot of students I talk to, is that they're too afraid to talk to a private lender, because they don't they don't think they're successful enough to be able to talk to a private lender, or they have all these fear around money and around around how to talk to other people. And so my job is to take care of all the mindset issues that you have, any mental blocks that you have, anything that's been holding you back. My job is to totally shatter that, so that way walking out of the seminar, you have no fears, you have no fear left. Okay, that that you would go out there powerfully, implementing what you learn at the seminar into your business and succeed. So go to dodealslive.com to sign up right now. And so now I'm gonna open up for questions here. And so let me see here. All right.
While you're doing that, Jim, I might mention, look at those 3 handsome devils at the top of the screen there.
Right.
Those are some real impressive looking guys, right?
That's right. So well, now it's it's Q&A time. So you guys tell me, just type in the questions. What questions do you have for me Jim, for AC, and we'll answer it before we call the night here. Or did we do such an awesome job at explaining everything that you guys just totally got it now? You're totally ready to rock and roll.
Well, I've got a question for you, Tim. While we're waiting for questions from the listeners, on the Courthouse H, you showed me how to find these names. What about how to find the person? After I found the name, how do I find Michael Laramie? How do I find Noonery or whatever that first guy's name was?
Right, and that's a really good question, and that's a really super ninja techniques that we have to save for the seminar to get that answer. Right, because I mean, yeah, that's just a really amazing technique, and the way I do it, you know, I have my virtual assistant from the Philippines that do all of that for me. You know, and I even built a software that all of the students at the seminar can use to be able to find them.
Good deal.
Yeah.
And the key is it's not difficult. You just have to know how to do it. Everything we do is duplicatable. You can do everything that we do currently to raise private money. There's nothing that you as a listener out there couldn't do in your hometown to raise private money.
Right. Yep. That's what I like about, you know, what we're doing this weekend. It is very, very extremely simple. Okay. All right. So Ryan asked the question: what are the times of the seminar? It's from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. On Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay. So I'll give you the general time. It's 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And it's important.
At 9 a.m. we start. There's going to be registration starting at what time?
Yeah, so registration starts on Friday, registration starts at 8 o'clock, and then at 8:55 is when we open the door, you come in, and then 9 o'clock we start, okay? And we have tons and tons of powerful strategies and techniques that we're going to be sharing with you, so you know, so just totally be prepared to you know, bring your notebook with you. You're gonna take lots of notes. You're gonna get access to a lot of different resources. We even have private lenders that's gonna be there at the seminar as well. You know, so that way you're literally gonna walk out of the seminar with tangible, proven private lenders that are in the room that you have contact with, that you can build relationship with from there. So,
hey Jim, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I have a question, Jim. I know the answer to this. I was thinking maybe you could explain this for the people on here. We are closing about 5 to 8 deals a month right now, and maybe you can explain to everybody why it is faster for everybody to use private money instead of hard money, because it's taking about 2 weeks sometimes to get a hard money deal closed, and the people with private money are able to come in and close the deal within 2 days sometimes.
Was that directed at me, AC?
Yes.
Yeah. And the answer is very simple. Private money lenders, when you meet them, you find out, you ask some qualifying questions of your private money lender. And one of the questions I ask is, where's their money? You know, I don't ask it that way, but I find out where the money is located, and if need be, I will help them get their money positioned so that when I have a deal for them, I can fund that deal within 2 days. In fact, those of you that use foreclosure auctions or pre-foreclosures, if you're dealing with people, and here in Texas, the culmination of the foreclosure process is a trustee sale, which by statute has to take place on the first Tuesday of every month. And if I get a call on Friday before Tuesday from a motivated seller who's got a problem, I can fund that deal and take it down, I can pull the trigger on that deal and save that foreclosure because I've got private money lenders already lined up with their money ready to go. And we're going to teach you how to do that. Whereas, like AC mentioned, sometimes a hard money lender just getting their paperwork in order is going to take a couple of weeks to fund a hard money loan.
Right. Exactly. All right. So here's another question for you. So here's from Darren. How do you explain to a private lender when you're a newbie?
Okay, how do you explain to a private money lender when you're a newbie? I teach you how to present yourself so that you've got credibility. Now, if you come across as knowledgeable and experienced, or knowledgeable about your business, whether or not you have any experience is inconsequential. First of all, let me mention to you, every real estate deal requires one of two things. It either requires money or it requires credit, or a combination of the two. It just doesn't have to be your money or your credit. Well, the same holds true with credibility. I teach my students how to use my credibility to get private money lending, to get private money lenders to loan them money. In fact, I have a student, her name is Linda. She had never done a real estate deal, so she had virtually zero credibility in the market. And yet she was able to go out and raise $800,000 having never done a real estate deal, because I taught her what to say, how to say it, how to come across professionally to her private money lenders. And she followed the steps, did exactly what she was told to do in her training, and went out and raised $800,000 on her first deal.
Right. Yeah, and I know she got that deal, like the whole thing, the purchase price, the rehab, everything was funded. So she didn't have to put any money out of her pocket at all.
She didn't even need the whole $800,000 to pull down her first deal. And then after she did her first deal with that private money lender, he had a little bit more confidence in her, so he said to her at that point, he said, hey, look, I've got actually, I can bump this up to $1.2 million. Now, that's a newbie that has, now she has her first deal under her belt.
Right, exactly. Awesome. So here's another question from Keith. Do you put one private lender per house, or do you do a bunch of folks together, like 5 people with $10,000 each?
Well, the way I structure my deals is I like to put one lender on a single-family home. Now, occasionally, I'll have one lender fund the purchase and a different lender fund the rehab, or sometimes I'll have 2 lenders partner up and fund the whole deal. On the single family, I try to keep it down to a minimum of 2 lenders, or excuse me, a maximum of 2 lenders. One of the things that I do for all my lenders is I pay fees. I pay their legal fees. I pay for the fees to produce the note and deed of trust. I pay if they have any fees that their IRA custodian charges them, I'll pay those fees. And it's not me paying it out of my pocket, it's coming out of the deal. And frequently I'll get the lender to loan me the money to turn around and pay the fees. So I like to have as few lenders as possible per deal. Now, in the single family realm, a lot of times I've got one lender funding the purchase, the rehab, funds everything. On occasion, I'll use 2 lenders, one for the rehab, one for the purchase, and one for the rehab. On the multifamily, it is not uncommon to put 3, 4, 5, sometimes as many as 8 or 9 investors together to pull down a multi-million-dollar apartment complex.
Awesome. All right, so
Any other questions?
yeah, so here's another question. Actually, this is from Ryan. He said, I've been trying to find money for over 2 years now to fund a rehab of a gym, and I have done a lot of networking at Quest, and I have not yet found any private investors. Will you help me figure out what I'm doing wrong? So.
Absolutely, absolutely, Ryan. If you come to the session this weekend, we'll have ample time to interface one-on-one. We're keeping this to a relatively small group of people so that we can give you that one-on-one attention. I can show you, I can analyze what you're doing currently, and based on the experience that I've got with finding private money for my own account, I'd be very surprised if I couldn't analyze and find out what you're doing wrong and give you some suggestions and tips on how you can do it better, so that you can raise all the money you need.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like sometimes like just changing a few words of what you say to people, how you present yourself, how you present your deal makes a huge difference in them saying yes or no. So yeah, those little tweaks goes a long way. Okay, so here's another question from Kathy. What type of paperwork is required for these types of deals?
Okay, because I'm doing real estate deals, what I do is I make sure that my private money lenders are well secured, and I give them the same security that they would get if they were a bank loaning me money. I give them a note or a promissory note, which is my promise to pay. It's my IOU, if you will, and I give them a deed of trust, which is the security instrument that they would use if I don't live up to my word and do what I say I'm going to do. If I don't do what I say I'm going to do, that's the document that they would use to take the house away from me and recoup their investment. Now, if you're in a mortgage state, that's done with a mortgage. We are in Texas. We're in a deed of trust state, so we use notes and deeds of trust.
Right.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you're in a mortgage state or a deed of trust state. You just use the appropriate documentation for that for the state that you're in.
Right.
And we will be giving you sample documentation at the seminar.
Awesome. So here's another question that relates to that too, from David. Will you guys be covering terms and the necessary paperwork?
Absolutely, and you'll have remember that private money lending is a negotiation between the lender and the borrower. So we're going to show you how to negotiate the best terms possible. You have to understand the private money lender, he wants to maximize his return generally. He wants to get the highest rate of return he can get, while you as the borrower want to pay the lowest rate. So you have to come to a meeting of the minds, and we're going to show you how you can negotiate with your private money lenders to get the best rate possible from that particular private money lender.
Right. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. And Jim, like, just so everybody know, like, what are a few terms that you have dealt with? Like, what's the interest rate? And just let's say, just name a deal or two. What interest rate? How much they charge you up front? Like, did they require you to put any money down?
Okay, most of my deals are done at or about 10%. I've done a couple of deals at 8%, and I've done several deals at 12%. So 8 to 12% is the range that private money lenders typically. That's what the market will bear right now. I rarely pay points, and if I do, it's just 1 point. Frequently, I'm borrowing all of the money I need. I rarely have to reach into my pocket and put money into the deal up front. In fact, frequently, I'll take money out of the deal and put it in my pocket when I buy the property. In fact, that's one of the things we're going to show you is how you can take a little profit from the deal the day you buy it and put money in your pocket the day you buy it. A lot of people think that they have to go to closing with 20% down or 10% down or something like that. We're going to show you that that is not the case. You can actually get in with 0 down. In fact, frequently I'm pulling a little money and putting it in my pocket up front. I did a study one time. I tabulated, and I looked at the last 17 deals I had done. And I'm sorry, 15 deals I had done. This was some time ago. And of those 15 deals, I had put $77,000 in my pocket the day I bought those 15 deals.
Wow.
Spread out over 15 deals. But I put $77,000 total on those 15 transactions in my pocket the day I bought the house.
That's awesome. I like that. getting paid to buy the house.
Exactly.
That's good. All right. So Ryan asked, where is this going to be? If I miss part of the seminar, can I come in later? It's going to be at the Renaissance Hotel of, well, for those of you that are out of town, it's here in Houston. For those of you in town, it's at the Renaissance Hotel by 59 and Buffalo Speedway, Greenway area. And if you do miss part of the seminar, yes, you can come later. However, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you do whatever it takes to be there the entire time to experience it completely. Okay, I mean, look, this is your business, and we are extremely committed to your success. And so, we structure the seminar in a way to to enable you to get the most amount that you can out of being at the seminar. And this is just one of those seminars that it's going to be completely unforgettable. It's one of those seminars that's life-changing for you. So I highly recommend you do whatever you need to do, take care of whatever you need to take care of, and just be there the entire time, or at least for your majority, as much of the time as you can. So, all right, awesome. Anyone else have any questions? Okay. Last chance for questions. Last call for alcohol. So, all right. Since there's no questions, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this webinar up. And I want to thank you. Thank all of you for being on this webinar. I haven't done these webinars in a long time, and so I'm kind of, it's kind of fun to do this, and it's even more fun to have fun to do this with. Jim and AC, thank you so much, guys, for being on this webinar and doing this with me as well. Otherwise, I'd be talking to myself the whole time.
It's been my pleasure to be on the call. Tim, I appreciate you inviting me, and I want to invite all your listeners out there to come see us this weekend. It'll definitely be worth your time. It'll make an impact on your business.
Yep.
Hope to see you there.
Yep. All right, everybody. Well, you have an awesome night, and we'll see you at the seminar. Bye, everybody. Bye, Jim. Bye, AC.
Good night, guys.